Hey there, everybody. If you have a child and you don't feel that you get respect from them often, or maybe they've got really angry outbursts, or you have also got a preschooler who hits, you're in exactly the right place. So today I'm especially excited because I am going to feature a case study on how the Johnson family stopped their preschooler from hitting. And this is something I get from a lot of parents who can be freaked out, and rightly so, because maybe the school is calling them a lot. Maybe they're starting to be seen as the bully or that problem child. Maybe they even have the school that's looking at kicking them out from a preschool. That's happened to some of my clients. So let's go through it. What I'm also really excited about is I am going to read a part of my working new book called Love Parenting: The 9 Steps to Get Your Stubborn Child to Listen to You. And I'm going to stop at a few places to ask you questions. If you've got questions, if you've got feedback, please comment down below. I will get back to you on that and see if I can't support you. Okay, so let me bring this up. Yeah, this is from my section subhead called How to Finally Get Respect from Your Stubborn Child. Is that something you'd like? So here it is. Getting respect from your stubborn child, it's actually rather simple. While it's common sense, it's not commonly used. Spirited children, those who do not take no for an answer, who are smart, often sensitive underneath, respect integrity in action. So what does that mean? What they don't respect is inconsistency, hypocrisy, immaturity, like when we lose it as parents, and when our words don't match our actions. These things they find highly intolerable. And when it happens, they often dish back disrespect, and sometimes a lot of it. So I just want to check in with you here. Where are you when it comes to your parenting on the consistency scale? Are you using empty threats? Are you saying one thing but doing another yourself? This is exactly what the Johnson family went through. When they went through my program, the Strong-Willed Child Parenting Transformation Program, they found that integrity was the biggest missing piece. And it allowed them to help their preschooler to stop hitting. So how did they do it? When the Johnson couple first contacted me, their top parenting complaint, and they were embarrassed and infuriated by it, was my child spanking their teacher. They tried everything: bribes, punishments, and spanking. And while they had good intentions, after all, they just wanted their child to be respectful. Can you relate? It only kept getting worse. It wasn't unusual for their child to be sent home from school. They were grasping at straws and didn't know what else to do. In our sessions, it didn't take long to discover that not only was spanking the go-to child discipline in their home, but a pat on the bottom was also a sign of affection. This was potentially super confusing to their preschooler, yet they were too close and too exhausted to see how their behavior was contributing to the problem. Now, I want to stop here because I think this is a really important piece. We all have our parenting blind spots. It's far easier for a stubborn child coach like me who's outside the hand, who's free of emotional entanglement, who's not triggered by it, who hasn't gone through years of it, to see what they couldn't see. And it's exactly why I regularly go to my own coaching sessions. It became clear that when their son was overwhelmed, bored, or deregulated at school, the Johnson's family own go-to choice of discipline was what he chose to do too. So he spanked his teachers, sometimes his friends, and from time to time his parents at home. It was a simple monkey see, monkey do behavior. Now, it wasn't especially easy for the Johnsons to change. The dad found it especially hard as he didn't want to give in. And the mom believed spanking had actually worked to instill respect in her when she was growing up. Yet they both could agree that all the spanking they used hadn't made it better so far. So I just want you to maybe reflect on that. Is there child discipline technique that you're using? And it's really, when you reflect upon it, it's really not getting the change you want to see. The definition, we've mostly heard this one before. The definition of chaos is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So if you can relate to that, that's really the time to say, okay, uncle, like, I give in. There's something, do something different. And that's exactly what they did. It's so important to remember that children watch what we do far more than they ever listen to what we say. So I just want to repeat that because I think it's really important. It's important to remember that children watch what we do far more than they ever listen to what we say. Now, perhaps like you, the Johnson family was ready for a change, desperately wanting a respectful home. In fact, they said they had to change, so they were open to learning. Well, the simplest way to motivate positive change in your child is by first changing yourself, and change they did. So, what did they do? The Johnsons learned that before they tried to change or discipline their kiddo, they were wise to ask, am I walking my talk here? Am I actually doing what I say and want them to do? Am I in integrity? So, what's this look like? As a start, they used one of my favorite parenting tips, what I call the Gandhi parenting hack. Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. And I believe if Gandhi was a parenting coach, he'd make a small tweak and say, be the change you wish to see in your kid. Many of us fall into not being the change we seek. Instead, we exhibit the misbehaviors we don't like or want. The most common, stop yelling. Yes, we yell at them to stop yelling. A do as I say, not do as I do parenting style can lead stubborn kids to disrespect us. You know what our real worry as parents ought to be? Not our kids' deaf ears, but their echoing actions. True or true? That's why the Johnsons stopped spanking and turned to me for alternate discipline tools, ones that got them the peaceful outcome they were looking for. They started with the basic parenting pause. I talk about that in chapter 1. To soften the habitual angry reactions they had, they stopped spanking and they layered in other tools. Many will cover in later chapters. Through our discussions, they realized that spanking and anger was totally out of integrity to what was important to them. Things like love, faith, grace, responsibility, integrity, and fun were top of the list. They got clear that they didn't want to be hypocrites and were committed to using integrity behind all they said and did. Finally, they got support, which is uber important. After all, a stubborn child will always test change. They will always test change. Here's the catch. You actually want them to. This meant that their weekly coaching calls and video message support with me provided beyond useful, especially during the times they were triggered and wanted to slide back into old spanking and yelling habits. It takes a village, folks. I'm happy to say that within a month, the teachers noticed a big difference in their child, could see more of that sweet versus impulsive boy coming out. This was game changing for this boy, who previously was seen as the bully by the other parents at school, was regularly singled out as the problem student, and pulled out of activities. So, where are you on this? Have you figured out, or do you believe that integrity is important? Are you consistent? Are there things that maybe your child is actually mimicking that comes from you or somebody else close within the family home? I would love to know. And lastly, I ended it with community in that area. If you have questions, if you're looking for a place to get great tips on peaceful parenting, I would love to be there for you. I hope that you're already a member of the Stubborn Child Solutions Facebook group. If you're not, come on over. It's free. It is a warm, supportive place where you can message me. And if you have any questions at all about about how do you motivate a stubborn, strong-willed child to really bring out the best in them without quashing their spirit, reach out to me. I'd love to talk and see if I can't support. And please remember, if you haven't heard lately, thank you for all you do day in, day out as your child's parent. Parenting is not a sprint, it is a marathon, and you, my friend, are doing it. Have a great day, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.